Hola a todos, todas, todequis. Y hoy día nosotros discutimos los adverbios de frecuencia. Adverbs of frequency. An adverb is a word that modifies or qualifies a verb or adjective. I know that's a little wordy, but let me give you a couple of examples. You may hear dogs barking in the background. So I could say, for example, in my neighborhood, dogs always bark, right? The word always is the adverb, all right? Or I could say, sometimes my neighbors do yard work. You could hear some sounds of weed whackers and lawnmowers in the background there, right? So sometimes and always, those are the an example with how an adverb would modify an adjective. Take, for example, a state of being, right? Happy, right? Happy is a describing word, right? And you might have friends who are always happy, or maybe you know someone who is never happy, right? So never is another adverb. Consider the word adverb itself. If you break it down into two parts, add, verb. So you could think of it like this. It is a word that you add to a verb to give more detail about that action. We are now going to do a dictation to introduce these vocabulary terms. So I will say the adverb, and then a prompt will appear for you to type. All right? Señor Westland habla y tú tecleas. A empezar. Our first adverb is siempre. 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 Siempre means always. Ahora el opuesto de siempre, nunca. 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 Nunca means never. Okay, we've done siempre, nunca. What about the word that means sometimes? The word is, or I should say, words are a veces. A veces. A veces. A veces. Sometimes. So as you can see, I have created this continuum from always to never. You can see sometimes, a veces, right in the middle. Now we're going to look at adverbs of frequency that might fall somewhere between siempre and a veces, and somewhere between nunca and a veces. A menudo. It's two words. A menudo. A menudo. A menudo means often. And here we will put apenas. It's one word. Apenas. Apenas. Apenas means hardly, barely, or even rarely. Now we're going to look at a group of adverbs that have the same suffix or ending. The suffix is mente. Mente. The mente adverbs in English would be adverbs that end with ly, such as typically, usually, and frequently. In fact, we're going to do those three in Spanish now. Let's start with typically. Again, I say, you type. Típicamente. 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 My hint for you is that this one does have an accent over one of the vowels. Listen for the syllable and the vowel within the syllable that has the most emphasis. That's where the accent is. Típicamente. I'll say it one more time. Típicamente. Típicamente. The next one is usualmente. 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 This one, like típicamente, is a cognate, and it's spelled very similarly as it is in English, at least with the first part. Usualmente. Y finalmente, el adverbio de frecuencia, frecuentemente. 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 There is a little hint here in the title of today's notes about the spelling of frecuentemente, very similar to that word frecuencia. Frecuentemente in inglés es frequently. And now I'm going to use each adverb in an example. All right? Ejemplos. Ella siempre duerme hasta las 11 los sábados. She always sleeps until 11 on Saturdays. Él y yo nunca vamos ahí. He and I never go there. Las hermanas Suárez estudian juntos a veces. The Suárez sisters study together sometimes. Notice that here we've put the adverb of frequency after the verb. In the first couple of examples, we put the adverb of frequency before the verb. Mis amigos juegan videojuegos a menudo. My friends often play video games. Su hermano menor apenas ordena su cuarto. His or her younger brother barely cleans or tidies his room. Típicamente, prefiero escuchar música mientras que estudio. Typically, I prefer to listen to music while I study. Here, típicamente is being used as a transition. Mis padres usualmente se acuestan a las 9. My parents usually go to bed at 9 o'clock. Todos usamos Snapchat frecuentemente. We all use Snapchat frequently. Muchas gracias por desafiarte hoy día. Thank you so much for challenging yourself today. And now get a little bit more practice with these adverbs of frequency. Gracias y adiós.